Welcome back to class. If you are old in this place, thank you for always being here. And if today is your first time stopping by, please do not forget to subscribe. Okay, so I want to focus on making satin turban. Satin is not a stretchy fabric, and lately satin is one of the latest material for making your headwear. So because it's not a stretchy fabric, I find out that some persons actually have challenges working with it. So there are two ways I work with satin. I will just be introducing one today. So the length of the fabric I'm going to work with is 26 inches by length and is 15 inches by width. And then I prepared two parts that I'm going to be using for the facing, that is the front. So each of these parts I have is 20 inches by 4, 20 by 4 inches. So the 20 by 4 inches, that's because I have folded, you understand? So it's supposed to be like 20 by 8. But right now, after fold is 20 by 4. So what I'll do quickly is that because I want to have a V front, a V, you understand? So I'm going to be crossing it. And the reason I'm using 20 for length is so that I will have enough to cross it. And the V will relax. If you don't have enough material to cross it, then the V will not relax. So for that V to relax, you need enough material to cross it. After which, you can cut off the excess part. So the part you see me placing my hand there is the midpoint of the V. So I'm just trying to check if I have up to 20 inches or above 20 inches so that I can adjust it. All right. So right now, since I already know the position my V will be in, I'll bring the fabric. I told you it's 26 by 15. I actually prepared two of it. This is because I want the back and the front of the turban to be neat. So I'm going to be using the two to cover the band. And the first thing I did now is to place the first one on top of the V that I have prepared. Then I'll pin it all through. This pinning and pinning is just to help me keep it in place. So after this process, I'll bring the second one. Place it down, and then I'll place the V on top of the second one. Right now, this is the first one. I am done pinning it, so this is how it will look. Now, one very important thing is that I must cut off the excess of the V part before attaching the second one. If I'm not making a V, that's why I chose to make this one. If I'm doing a straight one, I will not need to go through the stress of cutting out anything. But if you are doing a V where you have the excess shooting in and you don't cut it before placing the next one, then it's actually going to pose some kind of challenges that you will not like. So now this is the second part I want to use to cover it. I'll place it down and simply carry the V and place the V on it. Is that okay? So I'll place it down, carry the V, place it on it. Then I'll just be removing the first pin that I used here now, and I'll just be attaching the second one to it. So when I remove the first pin, I'll use it to pin the second one at the back so that I will not have excess pin. And when I'm sewing too, I will be seeing the pins I'm removing. Do you understand? So I'm attaching the second one now to the V again, which is very important. Is that okay? So after attaching this second one to the V, I'll show you how it will look. Then I'll quickly take it over to the machine and then I'll sew it. Okay, this is how it will look. So I have both materials like this. You can see it now. This is how it will look. This is how it will look. So quickly I'll turn it over again, and then you can see that every part of it is going to be neat. You understand? So that's the aim of cutting two separate materials to cover it. So I'll turn it over, then I'll just give it a straight stitch with my machine. A straight stitch. I'll just sew it quickly. So at this point, I'll take the exact measurement for the head I want. Head measurement is 22, divided by 2 will give you 11. So what I have in total there is 13. I will not be working with 13, I'll work with 11. I'll work with 11 because it is not a stretchy fabric, and secondly, I am not going to attach what do I call it now, an elastic to it. So what I need to attach to it is a belt. So I'll work with 11. We can work with 10 anyway, but I just want to work with 11. After attaching the handle, it's going to be a little bit reduced, and of course when you tie it, it will also be reduced as well, so it can fit into any head. So the next thing I'll do quickly is that I will cut off the shape of the turban, you know, the normal shape of turban. I'll cut it out here now. When I'm done cutting that shape out, I'll quickly use the interlock, as in weaving machine, or this machine I'm using to sew now has its own interlock. So I'm going to use the interlock part to like lock every part of it to avoid the material drawing thread and all of that. So when I lock every part, I will not need to sew the edge that I'm going to be leaving open, because with this particular style I'm going to be leaving a part of this turban opened, which will allow easy access to the head. Do you get me? So since I'm not using an elastic and the material is not a stretchy one, so there must be an opening that will allow the head, that will allow it into the head. So right now I have cut out the shape, the exact shape I want. I will quickly interlock it, use the weaving machine I mean. So now that I'm done with the weaving machine, I will not join it now. I'll first of all attach the handle to it. I'm not going to join it now. I will attach the handle to it, and when I want to attach my handle, this is how I go about it. Quickly I get the material, wrap the ending of the turban, each of the end, I'll pin, and then I will open up the material. I will open up the handle. I will open it up and then put the turban inside and sew it. So just watch that part carefully, you will understand it. All right, at this point I'm going to close the turban together. I'm going to sew it together, but before I do that, before I sew it together, I'm going to leave a opening about that length, which is about 7 to 8 inches opening, and then I'll sew the remaining part, after which this will be the final look of the turban. You can see it's very neat. It's very neat, and it's thick, it's rich. That's the right word to use. So I do hope you enjoyed the tutorials for today. I will see you in my next video. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe.